Hi, and welcome to another edition of Campus Diaries with Ru. Today's topic is bordering on domestic violence, something that is quite bewildering, yet many of us seem to shy away from. I have some stories from which I have decided to have today's discussion. About 31.9% of women in Ghana have, in one form, faced domestic violence in their lifetime. And that's from the statistics from the Regional Office of DOFSU, saying men have also faced this abuse. What bothers most, in as much as majority of women go through this abuse, men seem to cover up the stress or the trauma of this canker and live with it all the days of their life, and they shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen. But today, I seek to discuss it, not necessarily to solve the issue, but to bring us the hope of surviving the situation, of knowing that you are not alone and you can come out of it and be better. And then those who met out this abuse would also learn better, and then our society is going to be a nice place to live. I have with me today Miss Eunice Atalewale Ngoswini in Degu. Welcome, Miss Eunice.
Thank you for having me.
So I called you and I told you you were going to come, and this was the topic. How did you feel about it?
Well, I was excited, at the same time a bit confused, because abuse is a topic that, well, a lot of people don't like to talk about it. And if you are not careful, you might confuse people depending on how you go about it.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. So what's your general take on abuse?
Well, to me, abuse is a very bad thing. That's the first most important thing, because nobody would wish for anybody to experience any sort of abuse. Yes. And from my personal experience, I feel like abuse shouldn't be something that we should entertain, even as women or men.
When you say your personal experience, you know there are physical, there's economic, there's... What was yours kind?
Well, I have never experienced physical abuse, but there was the emotional abuse. I have not experienced the economic, but the emotional abuse.
And
yes.
sexual?
And sexual abuse, no.
Okay.
No. With the emotional abuse, yes, I have. And a few times, not just once. And I feel with that, every single person who has been in a relationship, at a point in their relationship, whether male or female, would experience some sort of abuse.
Okay, so do you see the signs? Since you say every person, and statistics has proven, are there signs to know that, okay, this person is a red flag?
To me, there are a few forms of abuse that maybe a lot of people don't know about. People really always talk about physical abuse, but there's also the emotional abuse. And there's the economic abuse, the sexual abuse, yes. And every one and what they experience. I could have experienced emotional abuse. Someone could experience physical abuse, yes. Everybody and what they go through, yes.
So, of all the four, I believe you mentioned four.
Yes.
Which one would you say is probably heavier or weighs more than the other, or they're on the same scale?
Well, to me, they are not on the same scale. I don't know for other people, but to me, they are not. Whether physical, emotional, sexual, they all come with their effects,
All right.
whether good or bad. Someone would go through physical abuse and would help the person to be a better person. Yes. But on the bad side, I would weigh emotional abuse above the rest. And secondly, sexual abuse before physical abuse.
Because you feel for physical, you can actually see the sore, the wounds,
Yes.
heal it, and you can even work on your skin, melanin popping and all of that. And then the scar is going to sort of run out and you not even remember it.
No, I'm not looking at it in that aspect. What I'm looking at it with is the fact that with the physical abuse, right, you have scars on your body and would alert people to be able to help you because they are seeing the signs. But with the emotional abuse, you're feeling it within. It's not out for people to see that, okay, this person is being, maybe physical, yes, abused or something, yes. So with the emotional abuse, trust me, there's a whole lot involved. It can really push you to the extent of death. I know that people have been physically abused and they are dead now. But with the emotional one,
you check your life.
It's hard.
It's suicidal.
And with the part of the world we are in, it's hardly people even go to a psychologist or a therapist and, just to try and help them. So with our part of the world, dealing with emotional abuse, to me, it's quite difficult compared to the other abuses.
So who is an abuser? How do we are living in a world where everybody goes about their daily duty, we wear our suits and tie, we're looking beautiful here. But how do you see an abuser in like, okay, this person is a no-go area? What are the signs?
Well, to me, I feel like sometimes the way the person talks begins with it.
How possessive?
Not necessarily. There are people that are possessive, but they don't abuse their partners. It's how the person approaches situations or problems. For example, if you're in a relationship with a person and then there's been a little bit misunderstanding, you look at how your partner approaches that problem and his reaction or her reaction towards it.
Okay.
And that could also give you an idea if the person is an abuser or not.
Like OCD, from one time they are lovey-dovey and all of then the next is the extreme bad.
Yes. I read a story somewhere where a guy said his girlfriend was always being physical with him. And anytime they had arguments, she was always hitting him and other things. But
the girl was abusing the boy.
Yes. But when they are like, okay, there's no problem, and she's so nice,
you won't even believe.
Yes. And it had been going on. He was thinking of marrying her, but after that, he's now doubting if he should marry her or not. And he was asking for people's advice. And to me, my personal advice would be no. Because yes, right now we are in a relationship, but marriage is a different ballgame. Yes.
So these signs you mentioned, do you see it prior to getting intimate with the person, whilst you are with the person, or sometimes it's you've left the relationship, it's dead and gone, everybody's living their life, and then you hear of a situation you had probably lived in once, and you're like, oh, so that was an abuse, I didn't even realize.
Yes. So it all comes from love. There's the word called love. That is why people don't normally realize that they've been abused until they are out of the relationship, before they realize, okay, like I was being abused in this relationship. Because the person was so much in love at that moment that the person didn't even think to herself or himself that, oh, okay, I'm being abused. Yes. And with the other question where you asked if you know before being in a relationship, it is sometimes hard, like 90% very hard to know if the person is abusive before entering the relationship. Unless probably you've been talking with the person and you've had a little bit of like misunderstanding, or you've talked for a very long time, you really like try and monitor the person. then you might, even now,
It's not
a guarantee, you might. But it's always when the person gets into the relationship.
And you see their true colors.
Yes. Because even with interviews, people that have been interviewed about abuse, it's always when they're in a relationship that they start to notice that, okay, this person is like this, it's like this, it's like this, yes. So it's always like that.
How would you perceive people who continue to be in those kinds of relationships? What is your take on it? How do you feel about it?
Well, I don't blame them to begin with, because, for example, if we talk about a relationship whereby both families are involved, not only you and your boyfriend, and your family is not accepting the fact that you are being abused, and they keep pushing the person.
Especially if you're a woman and you're growing and it's like, hurry up and get married. I need my grandchildren.
So even if you come and you're like, oh, maybe my boyfriend is abusing or my girlfriend is abusing you, they'll be like, no. Yes. Thank you. Yes. So it's sometimes it's not their fault. There are other people that, well, I can't really tell why they are in a relationship, but from what I know, there are people that are in abusive relationship because their family members are pushing them to be in the relationship.
Wow, yes. That's hectic.
Yes.
So you actually have to deal with your boyfriend who is not even a legitimate life partner.
Yeah.
And then you come home where you can have some consolation. They say go back to that.
Yes. And mostly people that are abusive, they even try to take their partner away from people.
Okay.
So it is hard for you to even open up to people. Sometimes they're in the relationship because they have no idea or they don't even know they are being abused. They have to open up to someone and they don't have,
because that's the only life and world you know. So yes. What happens in that world is what you see, what you know.
Yes.
That's your normal. That becomes your normal for you.
Yes.
Wow. That's got me thinking a lot. On campus, as a student, you are still a student, right?
Yes, yes.
From where?
University of Ghana,
okay.
Bachelor of Psychology and Dance.
Okay.
My 4th year.
Wow, yes. Nice. Okay, so how is dance? So we'll go back to our topic. But before that, what's your perception of people saying dance is dondology, and why would you go for a degree in that? What's your take on that?
Well, I feel like those people who say that should educate themselves more.
That's so you will.
Yes, on the course. Because it's not like what we all thought it was.
Okay.
Before getting into school, you hear people say, oh, it's a stupid course and everything. But trust me, I've heard people's stories who did dance and where they've gotten to in life.
And how about you? How's your story unfolding doing dance in the university?
It's fun. It's fun. And it's also educative. And you get to a point where you realize that, oh, okay, this is not just a course that you are doing because it's fun, but it's also helping in your daily life. Me doing dance, when I went to level 100, I couldn't stand like in front of people and even talk or even present or even say anything because I'd be too shy. But doing dance really helped me to actually build myself and be able to stand in front of people and talk.
And here she is today.
Yes.
Oh, all right. You're really preaching. And your psychology, how is it like?
Well, psychology really helps you in cases like the abuse. Psychology really helps you to have the mindset, not only like thinking about just, oh, girls being abused, but they're also
broadening to your scope.
Yes.
I saw this meme that read young girl majoring psychology, yet excuse my language, fuck boy, they use some language I've forgotten, you know.
Yes. I believe, like for example, there are this marriage counselors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was a time when I was like, oh, I really want to be a marriage counselor. And someone was like, before you can actually be in that side, you have to have gone through marriage and actually divorced before you can be a marriage counselor. Do you get what I'm saying? But the person is a marriage counselor. The person is helping people to solve their marriage problems. But that is what you are being told, that you have to go, be married, experience things, be divorced before you can call yourself
a marriage counselor.
And as
So
a young girl like
your
me,
degree.
no, you do need it. But as a young girl like me with my degree, if I am a marriage counselor,
people won't come.
Somebody will walk into my office and ask me, "Have you been married before? Do you even know what you're talking about?" See, so the fact that I'm a psychology student doesn't mean that I don't have to experience this kind of things.
Oh, okay. It's an experience building for you.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So back to my main question. You're a campus student. I'm here, a student on campus. Your peers, you mingle with them. You know, sometimes we are sort of semi-adults, so we get to go out and we have that freedom.
Yeah.
You meet other people. Who do you think your peer can abuse you in such a manner that you wonder how, or how you found yourself in such a situation?
Yes. It happens a lot of times.
Like on campus, your mom is catering for you. It's not like I'm depending on you for anything. The only thing common is love or intimacy, but you end up realizing you are going through so much stress than even your books are giving you.
Yes. It's all, you said it's love. It's all, I don't know, but love,
love is blind.
Yes. People do a lot of things. So with this question, yes, you have everything at home. You don't need anything from this partner of yours, but you're going to, it's all love, my dear. With those kind of situations, if you say you're going to really think about it, if you ask other people, yes, until the person has been able to come out of it, before the person realizes, so just like you're saying, you realize that,
so this stress I was going through was abuse, and I have been abused. Okay, so you have been abused, you were abused. The tag of victim. Do you think you should be a victim or a survivor? Because it's an argument.
Well, I am both.
You are both.
Yes. You can say yes.
But hold that thought. Okay. We'll be back after this short commercial break, and we are going to delve into her personal experience and hear of her story and how it went down for her. Stay tuned. Welcome back from the short commercial break. Before we left, we were talking about being a victim or a survivor of relationship abuse. Which one would you call yourself? And then Eunice was almost going to delve into it, and then tell us also about her personal experience. So
with what she said, with my experience, it wasn't really, let me say, anything big. Let me put it that way. But compared to other people, because there are people that have been in those kind of situations and they have killed themselves. Yes, so mine was really more emotional abuse, and I only got to find out that it was after, the relationship was over. Yes, and it happened a long time ago. So
you're not really bothered about it.
Yes.
And don't want to talk about it.
No, it's not that I don't want to. It helped just for me to grow. And what people don't normally say is that when you have been through abuse, it can change you.
For the best or for the worst?
Both. There are people that, because they were in such a situation, now even being in a relationship, they tend to now abuse their
because partner. They don't want to be victims anymore.
Yes.
So they decide to be the higher authority, whether they are the male or the female, yes, so that they don't go through.
Yes, because I can take myself as an example. Because I went through that thing a long time ago. After that relationship, I started to really be so protective of myself that I started to hurt people that just wanted to genuinely be in my life because I was thinking, oh, they might turn out to be like this
The
person.
same person. After all, trust nobody.
Yes.
Yes.
It just takes time for you to realize that no, you're actually damaging yourself because someone else damaged you.
Yeah.
Yes. So
well, that really hits deep. So from what you just said, I believe you are only a victim as at the time you were going through what you were going through.
Yes.
But once you're able to come out, go through the growing and learning process, and then you become firm,
yes,
that's when you call yourself a survivor.
Yes.
So anybody listening and watching, do not tag yourself with the victim code. Fasten your seatbelt, teach yourself, allow yourself to learn. Like she said, it got to a time she just threw everybody who genuinely wanted her good away. And out of that, she realized who really loved her and who really wasn't for her. So it's okay to go through that process and come out strong, great, and better, and a survivor. We will survive this as women, we will survive this as men. We will not fall. Relationship abuse, spousal abuse, intimate partner abuse is bad. We need to get to the point of our life where I believe young people, as young as we are causing so much harm to each other we are not even realizing, and we are not all so into life yet. So let's learn the better way, learn the better lifestyle of showing love and being in relationships so that the chain of abuse would break.
Yes.
Let us break with you. Be the game changer. Yes. So when is it right to leave an abusive relationship?
Well, I believe there's no specific time for someone to leave an abusive relationship. But if you get to see the signs early, before probably you put your heart into the relationship, it's best if you just leave the relationship. But not everybody has that strength to leave an abusive relationship, and it all boils down to people that are around them that can help them to leave that relationship.
Probably sometimes you are dependent on the person financially,
Yes.
So women, work.
Yes. And I also wanted to add this, that people, if you have a friend that has been through emotional abuse, physical, any type of abuse, we should try our best to be patient with them, because people act strong. You might be with a friend, she'll be like, oh yeah, like I'm over it, but trust me,
it's not easy to.
People don't never get over it. There are people that never get over it. So there are
remnants of it at least hanging in there.
So we should learn how to really show love, even when the person
is pushing everybody away.
Yes, acting up, yes. Because everybody and how they overcome their problems. Yes, that's what I wanted to add to it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And that brings me to, for some people,
yes.
Shock me, slap me. That's what some people believe is love.
Yes.
It's not 24.
Fine enough, yes. There are people that the more you beat them, the more they feel like, oh, you really love them. But there are people that, I don't know how these people, they think. Trust me. Because we hear of stories where she'll be like, oh, because you don't beating me, or because you're not doing this, you don't love me. Because the only form of love they know is physical, abuse, thinking it is love.
And I don't believe they call it abuse. They rather probably think physical romance.
Yes, or act of, there's a word for it. Physical act of showing love. Let me put it in that way. Yes.
Like being possessive of the person.
Yes.
Like you are obsessed with them. You put your rage on them. So tugume so far in any shape and form.
Don't go out and stuff. They think that's when the person is trying to be protective, but it's not like that. People really
so to you out there wishing, could you also be it's coming from how they grew up? how they have seen that, because probably their mother was suffering that and they were there and saw it, and their mom never left. Their mom probably never complained of it.
Yes, I think there's a story whereby the guy said the mother left the father because the father was being abusive. And he said he doesn't know why the mom should actually take such a decision. Because is she not a strong woman? Is she not supposed to stand for her children? But no. And such a person growing up, I can imagine
the kind of women, what you put women through. And that is really, really sad and sad, and disheartening. Because if for a woman, if for your mom, whom you have seen being abused, is leaving, I'll ask, what kind of society is the person living in? Or okay, it could be that father is also, influencing the man, that's how a man is supposed to behave. So for a woman who can't take in all of that pain, she's not strong enough to be called a wife. And this has continued with the men too, and they feel if you go out openly on your issues, your trauma, your abuse, then you're a weakling.
Yes, because always they'll be like, like and see
rags outside. Don't wash your rags and hang it out.
But that is what is also killing us, because recently there was a situation whereby a woman died, and her husband was, like being in a relationship with other people, doing all sorts of things, and she kept, harboring it in, and because of like he can't worry somewhere and through that she even though she was ill, it's actually helped to even kill her faster.
Yeah.
Yes. Sometimes talking, and my mom said, if you or big crap, you could have helped
problems.
Yes.
A problem.
Yes. That's
this house.
That's what I was trying to say about the emotional abuse.
If you see me, you see me watching over the cameras, because my cameraman is so induced in the conversation. He's so delayed. You should watch him. He has feelings too, and this and that. Never show feelings. So guys, say your issues.
Yes.
At least a confidential person. You can't really trust everybody, but you should have that one person whom you can confide in.
Yes.
Possibly, as a partner, you talk. You find, like you said, we don't really like therapy. We don't go to psychologists because it's waste of money. We are built hard. We can do it.
Yes. A black woman is strong. Such a bad thing.
Promoting all of those things have also cornered us into the kind of living we have now. It was quite an interactive session today.
Yes.
I have enjoyed my time here. If you have any further questions, this could probably not be our last. If you have questions you'd like to ask, you can forward it to campusdiary20@gmail.com. I will be willing to read through your stories, share it with my panel, and then come up front and give you some advice and talk about it. Campus diaries, whatever happens on campus, doesn't stay on campus, because I get to read it to the world.
Yes.
Thank you for sticking with us.
Hi, it's Campus Diaries with Ro. Welcome to the street edition. We are here at University of Ghana. I'm going to ask some of the students in some kakra about wife duties and husband duties on campus. Did you come to? Yeah, we know we came to learn and all, but although I didn't know, although the lab will be a lab. We are here at Liz Alex, and we're going to meet some few students and ask them about their relationship on campus. How's it like? Those who share will share, those who share will share. Sharing is caring. Those who share, I don't want to be a chairman. Why? Information, data, peace out. I'm Ruth, and I'm from Campus Diaries with Ro. I'm going to ask you a few things about relationship on campus. Do you think as a student you can be abused in a relationship? Like your age mate, you're dating your age mate. Do you think you can be abused? How?
I mean, abuse has nothing to do with age. Abuse is abuse. So
So you can be hit so one or few times. Okay, so you can be emotionally abused. Okay, so what would you talk about? What do you say about those who depend on their boyfriends or girlfriends financially?
Can you say something? You just make it.
You just make it.
Make it.
So anyhow, only
If you need help, talk
then
to
you
your
have
partner.
Okay. So you feel wife and husband duties on campuses, okay? You know, some students go to the extent of cooking, washing, babying their babies.
That is optional.
That's optional. So would you do it?
Not all the time. When I
Something
do like
you would do it to make them laugh. All right.
thank you.
Your name is Anini. Papa Nini. Papa Daddy Nini. Daddy what? Nini. Okay. Yeah. Welcome to Campus Diary. My question for the day is, do you think your peer can abuse you in a relationship? How's on campus?
Not at all.
Oh, happy.
Not at all. I don't think it's possible that my peer should be able to abuse me in the first place. The university has rules and it's against abuse. And I don't think it should get to the point where your peer should abuse you. Even you should be able to pick signs from the beginning.
What are some of the signs?
So, talking to the person, there are some people who use abusive words. Yes, yes, making you feel less and all that, and then also insult. I'm always a sharper. It usually gets to people, then it can even get your heart going and all that. From that, you can throw it and talk. You can take something to hurt someone and all that. So the conversations and all that, you have to just.
Do you think because you have access to leadership and all of these things, that's why you get to know the constitution and the rules and the laws, so you feel you have to grab? What about the latest? Because I was there, I didn't really know the rules.
Oh, you do? Okay, so I think that before you come to
That's
university,
another thing. It was here.
His
Yeah,
war, his
no,
war. He was the president.
it was. It happened in Liman, in Kwapon. Yes, and then
You are
before.
neighbors.
It happened in Kwapon. She left.
No, it happened here.
It happened in
The
Liman.
wife came from
It
here.
happened in
Yeah.
Liman. It happened in Liman.
But then the other girl,
The girl, yes, the girl is in Liman. The guy. But then the issue is that before you come to university, we are all given a handbook.
Alright.
Get it with regulations and all that. So you should it's our responsibility to read all these things. Even though it's conscious, but you
And
have to.
then husband duties and wife duties.
Oh, so for that one, I can't really see much, but because it depends on everyone. You get it?
So you haven't benefited from it.
Benefited from husband duties.
No, wife or husband. But
Oh no.
Uncle Nini.
Yes.
Uncle Nini, I'm going
you like boys right now.
Yes, we are the or that, and then it's normal that we would have feelings for each other and then date each other. Dating on campus, it's normal. Yes, everybody dates. So for wife duties and all that, there are people who enjoy from it. There are people who enjoy from it. They are there, and I'm here.
Yeah, they never enjoyed that before.
Oh, I'm here.
Hey, you don't give room for food.
Oh, someone or two.
Uncle Nini.
Alright, so
But
thank you.
they are there and I'm here. Minash, fuck it.
Please look for him, I'm sure he's quite popular in too. Obenya girl in him. Auditioners, I'm not audition. The girls will audition you.
You be them.
Where? Boy, Uncle Nini. The more it's Uncle Nini, the more it throws the money.
Oh wow.
Uncle Nini.
I don't really have
Okay, so hello. Welcome to Campus Diaries. Hey, I like your song. Who's that? Who's playing? I don't even know. I haven't heard of it before. Okay, so welcome. And what's your general take? Are you in a relationship?
For real, for real.
Sorry for real. Why? They got another.
Oh, they are
Oh, you
coming
don't like?
back. Yeah, they are coming back. I'm not ready. So relationship entails a whole lot of emotional trauma and other stuff. So
Okay, so you're saying that. What's your take on relationship abuse on campus? Like, can your peer look at you? Can like a girl catch you like?
oh, yeah, she
One
can.
on one.
Oh yeah, she can. Yeah, it's the might be brave commando. They might appear like
Beautiful and
Charlie,
everything.
they be monster for us.
So you think
So I think
what about the men abusing or the boys abusing them?
oh yeah. You see, this thing will be something we will talk about for a long time. But it's something that happens mostly when it comes to the male abuse to women really bad. Say, well, if we figure we get the strength, the authority over them, then we just they hit them anyhow, they mistreat them, and then so it's bad. So yeah, I think maybe the male more they abuse women more. Yeah, you'll be cool by depending.
I know it's alright to sell by your pool.
Sometimes it's like it depends from where you're coming from, how you're trained, how you're brought up.
So what's your take on campus wife duties and campus husband duties? I'm sure you're in a room with boys and the girls will come and for you and you eat and they should
yeah,
food
down
and
there.
they should make you don't come again.
It would be very necessary, the cooking is very necessary because you'll be hungry but it's already off from the campus. So if she can't cook, give you it's very necessary. Yeah, very necessary. But
Do you people pay her to do the food and all?
no, sometimes she do it out of her own willingness. I don't go fit pay. I don't go fit pay.
You know go fit pay, but you know go pay.
I don't go pay. Why make a payment? Why should I pay? No.
Are they eating food or are they eating food?
Yes, we talk. Oh no.
Oh yeah, this cooking food.
Oh yeah, then if she allows it. I always say nobody
you
can rape a
force
woman
yourself.
until she allows herself. That's what I always say. Nobody can rape her unless she allows herself. She just
But you
give
know
up.
there's
She just give up.
coercion. Oh, and 10 year old. Okay. All right. Thank you for coming. All
Thank you for
right.
having me.
So, what's your name?
Amelia.
Okay. Which hall are you?
Martin Nelson.
All right. Nice being on campus. Your friends said it. Are you in a relationship? It's just taking like 5 minutes. So,
I'm not.
you are not. So you.
As to whether I'm in a relationship or not, I can't say.
You don't want to say. So you're not denying.
I'm not denying.
I'm not dating, but maybe to someone.
Exactly. Maybe to the person we are dating. Maybe
I'm
to
denying anybody.
So exactly, I can't say.
What's your take on relationship abuse at campus? And can your peer, like your age mates, actually abuse you?
Yes, I think I'll physical, mentally and everything. Yes, it happens.
It happens.
To an extent.
So would you still call yourself a victim or survivor? Would you like to share your story?
Not really, but with that and all I can say, it really takes a lot to bring yourself out of that dark space. And then with some people, they might not be as strong as it seems, and they might tend to go into suicide or maybe confine in someone, and later the person will sell them out and all of that.
So another whole different.
Exactly. So with something like that, you can't really say. It depends on the person and the friends around who might help them. So it just depends on the person.
And you?
Unfortunately.
So you want to tell me what level are you? 100, 200, 2 semesters, 300, 400. Through it all, God has been your strength.
Oh, I don't date actually.
So what do you do? What do you know? You like
I just crash.
oh no. Impression on people,
Yeah.
Yeah, why are you sure? Please, she hasn't fallen in love yet, so maybe you can find your love from here.
Exactly. But then like you were saying, there are opportunities. But I've heard stories.
That can happen. And then your tip on campus wife duties and
That thing will be stressed.
It's not their fault.
Like,
I
it's
don't
not
think it's their
necessary.
fault.
It is.
No, I don't think it's
on the
their
girls' part.
Yeah, I don't think it's their fault.
It's a fault on the girls.
No, I don't think. I'm saying it's not their fault they do that because they feel like that's what they're supposed to do to keep a relationship.
I don't think so. That's rather lame.
That's what some people think.
There is a man here. I wish he could actually come and give me his.
No, I actually think that
Take
thing
on
is
that.
very lame. As
Very,
far as
very lame,
you're going out with somebody, it doesn't mean you should do this, you should do that. Before you came into his life, he was, living his life. So then it doesn't mean when you come, you should do it. As far as you're
That's
not
why I
married,
said
you
they
don't do
think
it.
that's their way of keeping it.
So I see you in a room. You see some of your roommates. Some of your roommates.
I'm heard, I've not seen.
My roommate.
They know how to do it.
They will not even do for
They
themselves.
don't do for themselves.
Let alone another person.
Yeah,
All
okay.
right. Okay. Thank you for your time. Thank you. You are. Thank you. Jifa and you are.
Hey, you are.
Nice meeting you. Something small. Interview. About
No, it's not anything serious. Oh,
No,
so are you in a relationship?
your
Okay, so yeah, so she's your sister in Christ, isn't it? Your sister in Christ. Yes, you know there. But I'm sure you've heard stories about other people, like about husband duties on campus and wife duties on campus students do. So, what do you say about it? You like this? I'm sure you've enjoyed some. You've enjoyed some before. And you video. What level are you in? Oh, yes, at 200. And you? 200. You're also into. So you came from the same school or something? No. Or you met here? So you want to tell me that Auntie hasn't cooked for you?
Me, I've not cooked for you before.
How about you too? Why?
she's not resident.
I'm not arrested.
I'm coffee feel, but now they do basket. You know what I'm talking. You see? Okay. Anyway, so what do you feel like it's in your peer, like they can abuse you in a relationship?
It can.
How?
But your peer now, it will be very like,
Because Okawa now bet me
hey, are you only someone that you
I know they are normal.
or a person can play you?
But you know there is sexual, there is physical, there is emotional, there is financial. Maybe the person is actually giving you money on a day-to-day to look nice on campus. You know, all the things are not the same. Some are really from affluent too. So, and I look like you know that the person. Hey, so what's your name? Abdul, please, everybody look for Abdul. Look for Abdul and date him because he's a very cool guy. If he's giving you the money, Charlie, he lets him go. Okay?
Please do.
So please look for him. Thank you for coming to Campus Diaries. Thank you for your opinion. Peace out. Hi, OBK. Welcome to Campus Diary.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
So what's your YouTube channel again?
I'm OVK Prince. Just OVK Prince.
Okay, we'll be having a collaboration. So please be looking forward to it. Okay. So how long have you been on campus?
This is my last year.
Your
So
last
4
year.
years.
Okay. What's your take on relationship abuse? Do you think your peer can abuse you as a standard? Or you can abuse somebody?
Oh no.
Why?
I don't have the right to.
Okay.
That's my mentality. I feel like I'm not paying your school fees. I'm not waking you up in the morning. So I don't have the right to abuse.
Oh, okay. So what about the wife duties and husband duties on campus? What about that one?
You see, okay, everybody come to school with different intentions. So yes, so people come and they'll find their soulmate and they'll marry. But
So
that one day,
that's them. They're in the journey
yeah,
of.
then the journey of finding true love.
Okay, that's good. That's good for you. So for you don't think that your peer can abuse you because you have an entitlement to them?
No, you
Then in
can't.
the case where you have an entitlement, then it means there's room for abuse.
No, there's no room for an abuse. That I told you that I don't wake you up in the morning. God, so I don't have the right.
Whether you're even paying for food, lunch,
Lunch, no,
breakfast,
no.
nice clothes.
Oh no. As far as I'm not the one waking you up in the morning, I'm not the one putting you back asleep.
Well, I witnessed him. He's such a gentleman, huh? So like, watch out for a call about OVK friends. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very
Bye.
much.
Yeah.